The person pushing that cart is named Matilda. Her friends call her Matty for short. Matty was recently hired as an airport baggage handler. Matty's previous job was in a warehouse, so she had the requisite experience for her airport gig in spades. Matty had the organizational skills if needed, and her recent employer references were perfect. Well, too perfect. Matty's new employer checked the usual boxes in hiring a baggage handler. What they didn't know was why Matty really left this job here in the first place. Matty's boss had issues with how she carried out her work. None of this was mentioned in the reference follow-up call. We'll tell you why Matty's old boss below me appears upset. Matty and her boss would often have negative exchanges in open view of other employees. The supervisor just wanted her to move boxes, not chit-chat. This was not good for morale. It's okay. No one was hurt there. Matty and her supervisor are actually friends. They exchange soup recipes of all things. Whatever floats your dumplings, I guess. However, Matty's supervisor, upon reflection, realized an error in judgment. He looked back at her CV and saw that she had a 2-year diploma in hospitality management. So, he put Matty in a position that was more in line with her operational preferences. Interacting with people, looking after their needs and developing a rapport with customers. Although Matty's boss recognized her vocational aspirations, it was too late. With too much hostility between them, her transition to a different role didn't pan out. But Matilda's story doesn't end here. In fact, it's only beginning. Let's go back to the office and examine what really went wrong. Although it was great that Matty's boss finally made the connection between her education and her career aspirations, that was just another typical box checked off on the list. Hiring managers need to go further, so let's break this down even further with 3 basic and popular comparisons used by people who research this stuff in terms of job and culture fit. The first comparison is physical versus people. Just out of common sense, where do you think a warehouse worker or a baggage handler would likely fall in this comparison? If you guessed physical over people, congratulations. You possess common sense. Now, where do you think, based on what you know about Matty's career aspirations, where she would be in terms of physical versus people? If you guessed people over physical, spot on. You are simply brilliant. The second comparison is verbal versus task. Where do you think a warehouse worker or baggage handler would naturally prioritize their preference toward this job? If you guessed task over verbal, well done. This makes perfect sense, does it not? And if you guessed verbal over task with respect to Matty's preferences, or what we call operational mode, correct. Matty thanks you for your empathy. Our third and final comparison is introversion versus extroversion. This comparison is tricky, and why we won't delay in displaying the results. If anything, we are more concerned about the perception of introversion and extroversion by hiring managers. Introversion and extroversion may not be an important comparison in view of one's career aspirations or one's ability to get the job done. And why is this so? Most people are ambiverts, not pure introvert and extrovert. We are multidimensional with an array of complex operational modes to adapt to our environment. Here is where people mess it up. They often confuse non-verbal people as being introverted, and highly verbal people as extroverted. It's wrong, misleading, and so we will move on. What you need to focus on is understanding Matty's story, and more importantly her operational mode, which gives us better insight into her career aspirations, so Matty can matriculate to the new opportunities for her to explore that are ripe for the picking, or, shall I say, Matilda, and the new opportunities that are awaiting her.
Thank you, Josephine.
And now, we dance. Wait. One more thing to add. Let's face it. Most people hate their jobs. So, what do? They keep applying for the jobs they hate. Why? Because they can get that same job again and check off all of the boxes the hiring manager, boss or HR recruiter are expecting. We can understand the career aspirations of candidates. Operational mode connects them with the new boss, the new job and the new work environment. And now, you may resume dancing.